Hello everyone and welcome to our today's webinar on Selkirk College MSM Agent E-Summit 2020 Live. Our attendees are in process of joining the webinar. In the meanwhile, on the behalf of our MSM team and Selkirk College, I hope your family and your colleagues are safe and well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen from all parts of the world. I would like to thank you all for taking time and being here today with us. My name is Shivani Sachdeva. I'm Manager Canada, overseeing Canadian Institutes at MSM. I'm delighted and pleased to introduce today's presenters, Mr. Denny, Director, International Education and Development, Miss Emily, International Recruiter and Advisor. Before I hand over the mic to them, I will run you through the control panel. Everyone is currently on mute, and you are all encouraged to put your questions and comments through our presentation in the Q&A section, which is presented in the control panel. Later on the presentation, we will brief you on your questions and we will be answering all your concerns. In case of any difficulties, please drop your message in the chat box. The webinars will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel just in case you miss out on anything. Before going ahead, I would kickstart this event by introducing our presenters. Over to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shivani. So welcome everyone to this webinar. We are here to represent Selkirk College, which is a public college in British Columbia, Canada. I'll just introduce myself again. My name's Danny Beatty and I'm the Director of International Education here at Selkirk College. And my colleague, Emily, she's an international student recruiter and she'll also be helping me with this presentation. So welcome once again. I will begin our slideshow, and as Shivani mentioned, please, if you have questions, you can type them into the chat box and our team will try to answer them rather than stopping the presentation at this time. And then at the end of the presentation, if there are common questions that Shivani and the team have not been able to answer, Emily and I will try to answer. One second. Okay, that was the introductory video just to give you a little idea of what Selkirk College is like. So in the first slide, I'd like to just speak about some of the unique selling points of Selkirk College and why we think you should attend Selkirk College. So as I mentioned, Selkirk is a public college with very high academic standards. We are not a private college. We are the oldest public community college in British Columbia, and we were founded in 1966. So we've been open for 54 years, and that is a long-standing history of great programs and great instructors and great facilities. Another unique selling point is our very small class sizes. So in large universities in Canada, class sizes can be up to 200 or 250 students, but at Selkirk College, the average class size will be about 20 to 30 students. which means that your instructors will get to know you and they will be able to assist you much more than in a large classroom setting. Also, very important that our tuition for a public college is very less compared with other public colleges. So just to give you an example, in Canada, a large university would be approximately 30,000 Canadian dollars, sorry, per year. So 30,000, I'm going to put that into rupees. That would be 15 lakh. 15 lakh rupees for 1 year at a large university. It would be about 10 lakh for a large college, and it's only about 5 to 6 lakh rupees for a year of Selkirk College. So very low tuition. We have a very friendly, caring, and safe community, and also very low cost of living. The cost of to be a paying guest or the cost of off-campus accommodation is very less compared with other large cities. There's a map of Canada, and you can see that British Columbia is in the west. Selkirk College is in the circle. You can see the three large cities in our area: Castlegar, Nelson, and Trail. So Selkirk College has campuses in those three cities, and most of our programs are in the two cities of Castlegar and Nelson. And we are about a short 1 hour flight from Vancouver, and we have very mild weather compared to a lot of the regions of Canada. So our winters on average are not very cold compared with some of the regions in the center of Canada or in the east. Okay, if you are a 12th standard student and you're just completing your secondary education, we have many different programs for you. If you're a science stream student, you can study in our Associate of Science program and study biology, chemistry, physics, or engineering. You can study early childhood education, social service worker. You can see the list there on the screen. Those are just a sample of our programs. We have many, many programs that I will explain later, but these are some of our more popular programs with the 12th standard students. If you are a graduate, you have a bachelor's degree already, we have 5 postgraduate diplomas. You can see that the very popular area of business management and accounting are there. Gerontological nursing is there for nursing graduates. Hospitality management and culinary management are there also if you have a degree in either hospitality or culinary. So at this point, I will hand it over to Emily and we'll continue with the webinar, and just let me know when to change the slides.
Great. Good morning, everyone. So as Danny mentioned, we've got a variety of undergrad and postgrad programs. For most of these programs, there is optional co-op. We have an entire department dedicated to assisting students in finding those co-ops or job retention after graduation as well. Specifically for our culinary and our hospitality programs, we have quite a large job fair where we have lots of large resorts and hotels come to Selkirk College, and the students kind of conduct mini interviews with these organizations and then choose where they'd like to work for their co-op or for their work term. And we also have multiple career fairs for all the different programs offered at Selkirk throughout the year. So students have an opportunity to connect and get to know some of those local organizations. We do also offer student housing on both of our campuses, so both in Castlegar and in Nelson. So these are a few photos of our residents in Castlegar. I see the prices aren't listed here, but those can be found on our website. There's a variety of different pricing based on the type of dorm that the student is looking for. And they have their own cooking facilities as well. This is our residence in Nelson. So as you can see, it's a very new building. It's really wonderful accommodations. And again, the pricing just depends on the type of dorm room that the student is looking for. These are very popular options for our international students, and they do tend to fill up quickly, but if a student applies early enough, we have no issues getting them a seat. Great, so this is our University Arts and Humanities program. So as Danny mentioned earlier, this is one of our undergrad programs, so students coming directly out of grade 12. Of course, all of these programs are designed to transfer to universities if a student is seeking to finish their bachelor's degree. So after completing our 2-year program, they would be awarded with an associate degree. They have a variety of different topics that they could major in: creative writing, English, economics, psychology. And these programs have 3 intakes a year. So we accept students in September, January, and in May. I don't see the IELTS requirement on here, but the IELTS requirement for these programs is 6.0 with no band less than 5.5. And again, on our next slide, you can see the same program. This is our associate degree in science with a variety of different topics: biochemistry, biology. We've got a great entry to pharmacy program. And again, 3 intakes per year with an IELTS requirement of 6.0. So these are our business programs. As Danny mentioned earlier, we do have an undergrad and both a postgrad. In both of these options, the student can choose to major in either in accounting or finance or in business management. The 6.0 IELTS for the undergrad and the 6.5 IELTS for the postgrad programs, again with 3 intakes per year. Both of these programs have a co-op work option available, and we found these very popular programs with our international students, and we've got a lot of really great diversity in these programs as well. Danny, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So what I'd like to focus on with our hospitality and tourism programs is we offer a hospitality program for students from the 12th. We call it our diploma program. It is a 2-year program, and we also offer a new culinary management program for students directly out of the 12th, which means you do not need any work experience or previous education in culinary to take that program. As well as we offer the same types of programs for graduates who have a culinary or hospitality background in their bachelor's degree. And that also, they're both 2-year programs. So you can see here that all of our culinary and hospitality programs do have a guaranteed, mandatory, paid work term or practicum. So students, after the first year of the program, they can either stay locally and get a job in a hotel or a restaurant, or they move to a tourist area or a large city where they can get a job for about 4 months in the first summer break. And the salary is very good for that. Students make a lot of money, and often accommodation is provided at the hotel where they work. Many of our students, if they have a good work term in the summer, are offered a position back at the hotel or at the kitchen where they worked after they graduate. I also want to emphasize that at Selkirk College, all of our programs are 2 years. There are a few that are shorter, but the majority of all of our programs are 2 years, which means they qualify for the 3-year post-graduation work permit. The next slide is in the field of human services. So the programs that we offer are in the areas of early childhood education, social service worker, and education assistant and community support worker. We always have international students in these programs, and in particular, the early childhood care and education program is very popular with our international students, and it does fill up quickly. So we encourage you to apply as early as possible for that program if you're interested. We have 2 intakes per year, which is May or September for these programs.
And just to add to that very quickly, we generally start accepting applications about 1 year in advance. And programs like this, our human services, as well as our hospitality programs, will often fill up 8 months before the program begins. So as Danny mentioned, there's very limited seating in these programs. So if you have students who are interested, we encourage you to apply as soon as possible.
Thank you. For some reason it's, oops, there. Okay, now I'd like to speak about our healthcare programs. So if you are a science medical student in the 12th, you are able to take our healthcare assistant program, which is, it's only a 1-year program. And so you would have to combine that with another program when we can help you do that. So if you're a student from the 12th and you're interested in healthcare, we have seats available in our healthcare assistant program. Many colleges refer to this as personal support worker, but in British Columbia, they call it healthcare assistant. For graduates who have a nursing degree or a general nursing and midwifery diploma, we can offer you our postgraduate diploma in gerontological nursing. And this is a 2-year program. And one of the benefits of this is it will prepare you to become a nurse in Canada, and it will also give you healthcare assistant certification after the first year of the program. This program, the postgraduate diploma in gerontological nursing, was created for international nurses. So in that program, we have nurses mainly from India, but also from the Philippines, and it's prepared to help international nurses become either registered nurses or licensed practical nurses in Canada. This program only has a September start date, but this year only, we deferred the start date from September to January. So we are still accepting applications. We have a few seats left. If you apply for this program, our admissions team can explain all the documents that you have to send for that. This is just a testimony of one of our graduates who's now working as a registered nurse in Ontario. And a lot of our nurse graduates do go to Ontario or other provinces, and some stay locally. But she was one of our successful students who became a registered nurse quite soon after she finished our program. Okay, if you are a student in the science non-medical stream, so you're taking chemistry and math and physics, but not biology, we have some programs for you in the area of environment and geomatics. So we have forest technology, we have recreation, fish and wildlife, we have integrated environmental planning, and we have geographic information systems. The geographic information systems is actually it can be a 1 or 2-year program that you have to have some previous education. So if you have a degree in geography or in computer science or IT management, you would qualify for our geographic information systems program. Okay, we have 2 programs in the arts, which are a music program and a digital art program. The music program is a 2-year program, and the digital art program is also a 2-year program. They only have a September start date, but they're both undergrad diplomas. They're not post-graduation diplomas. And the digital art program is a mixed program. It's not it's not a computer science program, but it is more for web design and using art and photography and animation on the web for designing websites. We have a new program called Web Development. So currently this program's 1 year, but beginning in September 2021, it will become a 2-year program. And this program is for students from the 12th who you do not need previous experience in web development or coding, but it's a benefit if you do have that. You would need to be from the science non-medical stream, so taking math and physics. And we are also developing a post-graduation option for web development. And again, it will also be a 2-year program. Another new program at Selkirk College is Digital Fabrication and Design. So this new program is starting this September. It is a 2-year program, and it's a combination of computer and machines. So you can see there that you will learn 2D and 3D design for advanced manufacturing. You will learn how to use and program digital printers, which are now being used to create objects that can be scanned from a computer and then printed out in a small office. So this is a new technology, and the program is very rare. And it is a 2-year program. It's too late for this year, but if you are interested for next year, please do apply early. It will be a very popular program and will fill early. So it's suitable for 12th science non-medical students because again, you have to be strong in math and physics. Sorry, just to also explain for this program, if you are a 10+3 student in a technology field, this would be an excellent program for you as well, for the 10+3 students. Okay, no comment about this, just some pictures about student life on campus. I'll just explain a little bit about the size of Selkirk College. So Selkirk College has approximately 2,500 students, 2,500. And of those, we have about 700 or 800 international students. So our international student numbers are very high, and we do have a large number from India. And there's a great Indian community now in our region with Indian restaurants and Indian shops. And the students from the north and the students from the south celebrate their festivals. And we've really built a great community among the international students here.
We also have an international dance show that is very popular with our Indian students. So every year we plan this, and the students get to kind of showcase some of their dances and some of their culture to the school. And it's a really great opportunity for the Indian community.
Okay, I think I'll just skip some of these slides. Selkirk College is in partnership with many universities in British Columbia and across Canada for students who are from the 12th standard and you want to complete your full bachelor's degree. We have partnerships with many good universities. Here's our fee structure. So you can see that for most of our 2-year undergrad diplomas, it's $5,660 per semester. So that would be around 6 lakh rupees per year. And our post-graduation diplomas are also about the same, 6,075 Canadian dollars per semester. So that would be about 6 lakh or a little over 6 lakh rupees per year. Okay, I'll skip that slide. Okay, I'll ask Emily to give some basic information about COVID-19 and what Selkirk College is doing at this time.
So for right now, as far as updates from Selkirk College in regards to COVID-19, we're really happy to report that we've had a very limited amount of cases in our region. So we've had absolutely no hospitalizations required as a result of COVID-19. So we're considered a very, very low risk area in this region. Despite that, we have a really dedicated staff team who has created a quarantine plan for our students. We have a handful of students arriving from September, coming from internationally. And so we do have accommodations ready for them. We have a great team of volunteers to help support them during their quarantine. Their medical insurance that students are required to have when they arrive at Selkirk does cover any treatment for COVID-19 if they were to contract that when they were here, which, as I said earlier, is a very, very low risk. So for September, we have transitioned most of our programs to 100% online. There are a small amount of programs that will have an in-person component because some of that work can't be done virtually, but most of our programs have been pushed to online for September. And for January 2021, we hope that all of our classes will again be offered in person on campus, while of course continuing to take extra cleaning measures and sanitation measures for our students and for our staff.
Okay, we're going to finish our presentation with another short video, and then we will hopefully have some time for questions and answers. Okay, so we've reached the end of our presentation, and Shivani, what would be the next step?
Yes, thank you for such an informative presentation. Let's kickstart with the questions now.
Okay.
Right? All right. So there's a question from an attendee. They're asking if a student does the gerontology postgraduate program, do they still need to take RN test, registered nursing test?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So let me explain a little more detail. So if you are a nurse and you are trained in India, when you come to Canada, the post-graduation diploma in gerontological nursing will help prepare you for the national nursing exam. So you are required, every international nurse from every country is required to take the Canadian nursing test, which is called NCLEX. It's the same test that's offered in the US. You would even be able to study and prepare for that in India, but you are required to pass that national nursing exam. And you would also be required to take some other steps, such as a practical skills assessment. So when an international nurse comes to Canada, even though they take a program in Canada, they would still be required to take a skills assessment to assess their basic nursing skills, and then in addition to taking the NCLEX test.
Right. Thank you for explaining the same, Danny.
Welcome.
There's a question that attendee is asking. Could you please help them understand the transfer programs if they're, how does that work?
Transfer to university?
Yes, university transfer programs.
Okay, so the university transfer programs are for students who have just completed the 12th. It's not for the post-graduation programs. So if you are a student just completing the 12th and you are a science medical or accounting stream or humanities stream, you can study for the first 2 years at Selkirk College or any public college in British Columbia. And those 2 years will transfer to a public university. So for example, if you want to study chemistry or biology or history, you can complete 2 full years at Selkirk College, and then when you transfer to university, you will enter 3rd year of that bachelor's degree. And our counselors and advisors will help you with the process of choosing your courses so that they transfer correctly, and of choosing your transfer university. We provide that assistance.
And just to add to that, many students choose this option because it's much more affordable. So rather than completing 4 years at a university with incredibly high tuition, you can then start 2 years at Selkirk College and then transfer.
Right, correctly said. All right. There's a question where an attendee is asking if we will be accepting NWAC board. That's a senior secondary US board, Northwest Accreditation Commission US. If we will be accepting this board for our programs.
So it's not the ICSE or the CBSE in India,
No,
it's from the US?
Yes, it's a US board, yeah.
From grade 12? From the
Yes, for
12th?
grade. Yes, for the senior secondary, yes.
Probably, but I'm not familiar with that examination board in the US.
We can ask the attendee to send us the documents and we can assess it.
Sure. Was it a public school? Well, if it's a public secondary school, then yes, we would accept that, no issues.
It is more of an online thing that which can be done while in India as well. It can be done any part of the country.
Okay, so for situations like that, if the student is not sure, encourage them to send their documents to Harpreet. Harpreet will evaluate, and she can touch base with us. And we will not, for a student with an inquiry like that, we won't charge any application fee because they're not sure if they qualified, and so they can ask that question without paying a fee.
That's great. Thank you. There's another question if you're accepting Duolingo.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we are. Emily, do you, maybe while I speak, can you just quickly look up on the Selkirk website, if you just type in, go to Selkirk International and type in English proficiency and find the so the Duolingo English test.
It's 110, yeah, so the score for
Okay.
6.5 is 110 on the DET, and the IELTS 6.0 is equal to 105 on the DET. So we are temporarily accepting those scores for our January and likely also for our May 2021 intake, and then after that, it'll be back to IELTS.
So the only issue there is, although Selkirk College does accept the Duolingo English test, the High Commission for the SDS program is currently, I believe, not accepting it. So that's the reality.
Right. But they can still go on and make applications with Duolingo.
Yes, and
Yes.
they could apply to Selkirk with that, yes.
Yes.
And Duolingo it's quite affordable and it's very accessible and efficient online. And those scores can be sent directly to Selkirk the moment that they're completed. So the process is quite quick.
Right. Right. Would you like to tell how the co-ops work?
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
So for certain programs, such as hospitality and culinary, that co-op is mandatory for the program, and it's paid, and every student in the program will take that co-op term. But for business and accounting and forestry and environmental planning and other programs, the co-op is optional, which means that the student doesn't decide until after they arrive, and in their first semester they meet with the co-op advisor and they say, I would like to apply for co-op, and there's a small fee to apply for co-op, but then the student has access to jobs that are only available for co-op students, and they're directly in the field that the student is studying. But that is those are optional and not required, and you only decide after you're in your first semester.
Right. And there's another question: how much gap we will be accepting after grade 12th? How much do we accept?
Okay, so we're happy to accept up to 2 or 3 years gap. Beyond 3 years, it becomes very difficult to justify what the student was doing for those years after the 12th. So up to 2 or 3 years is fine, because some students for the first year aren't sure, and then they do the IELTS coaching and things like that. But beyond 2 or 2.5 years, it becomes difficult to justify why you delayed so long. And for
Right.
post-graduation, we're more flexible. So up to 5 years is no problem, and even longer if you have a good work history. So we've had plenty of nurses with 5, 7, 9 years of nursing experience. That's fine, and we're actually very happy to accept those students. Business and accounting stream students who have 5 or 7 years of accounting or business management experience, that's fine as well. The only issue becomes if the gap is long and the student was not really working, then it becomes difficult to justify the long gap.
Right. Thank you for answering that. There's a question, what are the, I mean, they want to know what all facilities are available on campus for the students.
Emily, would you like to answer that one?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
The attendee is asking what all facilities are available for international students once they come on the campus.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a really great department, our recreational department. So students have access to a wide variety of different recreational activities. We've got a gym, like a workout gym. We also have a large like basketball, badminton court. We've got big open fields where students can play soccer or cricket outside. We also have a very active student union who is constantly planning activities for our students in all different seasons. So students have the opportunity to go skiing or snowboarding throughout the year. We go tobogganing, lots of winter activities. We have hiking, we have trips to Banff. So quite a few different options for recreational. And of course on campus, we have healthy campus and living, different counselors. We have on-campus nursing. So we have a very wide variety of facilities open to international students, just as most public colleges offer these.
Right. Thank you for answering that. There's a question where they're asking if we will be accepting PTE score.
So this time we're not accepting PTE scores. And again, for students from India, with the SDS requirements, IELTS is the only approved test. So, we do accept the TOEFL, the IELTS, the Duolingo, but at this time we do not accept PTE.
Right. There's another question from the attendee. They want to know how many Indian students are studying at Selkirk College.
Approximately 450,
Great. And increasing every
and
session.
increasing. That's right.
Right. So there are a mix of questions if we require mathematics for our business programs.
Yes. So we do require math for the business program. For the post-graduation, we can be flexible and we can offer a math upgrader, but for the undergrad, it's also required.
So it's a 67% that we need in math in order to qualify for the business programs.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a question where they're asking for an housing option, and they say, what if the housing option for a particular campus is closed? Will they be accommodated for the next campus or the other campus, or any other facilities that can help by the international office?
Mm-hmm. So most of our Indian students do not stay in the on-campus Selkirk housing. They choose to be a paying guest off campus. And so what we do with new students who are coming, they once they have their visa approved or when they're waiting for their study permit process, they can contact our accommodations coordinator. Her name is Misoon, and they simply tell what their requirements are. For example, I'm a 21-year-old Punjabi female. I would like to have a room with other Punjabi females. And then Misoon takes that information and she sends it out to all the current students. And then we also have current students, when a student leaves, they tell me soon, I have a room for one female. I have 2 rooms for 2 males. So we can help with that. We can help put you in touch with our student network. But most of our Indian students live off campus and not in the student housing if it is full.
Right. All right. I hope that answers the question. There's a question probably from a student, I believe. They're asking that what will be the blend of the program for September? It is going to be on online or hybrid, or it's going to be a mix of that. If you'd
So
like to answer that.
most of our programs for September are 100% online. So business, hospitality, the humanities and arts, the web development, the digital arts, they're 100% online. So that means that if a student does receive the study permit, they can stay in their country, in India or whatever country they live in, and complete the first semester of the program, and then they can come to Selkirk, even at some point in the fall. So for example, if the student receives the study permit, they begin their studies, and then maybe the travel restrictions are lifted and the flights become available in October or November, the student can come, find accommodation, continue their program, and then they'll be ready for the January intake. But currently for September, most programs are 100% online, and some programs are a mix with some online and some on campus.
Right. Thank you for answering that. There are too many questions rolling in, so if you don't mind answering more of them,
Nope, that's fine.
Right. So there's a question where an attendee is asking, what are the job opportunities on campus?
On and off campus?
Yeah.
Okay, so on campus, the job opportunities are very limited. Because the campus is not extremely large. There are some job opportunities on campus. For example, in the gymnasium, you can become a student work. So we have student work. You can be a tutor to teach other students. You can become an employee in the gymnasium. There's a few other, but not many. But it's off campus where most of the jobs are. And I would say that the majority of our students do find off-campus work, and it may take a little bit longer. So for example, it might take 2 or 3 months to find that off-campus work, but they would work in large food grocery stores or restaurants or petrol stations or shopping mall. Like in 2 of our cities, we have small shopping malls. So most of our students do find that part-time work.
Right. Thank you. There's a question for a particular program that is digital arts. So they want to know how that program is going to run for September. Is it going to be an
It's going to
online?
be 100% online. Yeah,
Right,
so you can start that program in the first semester from India or whatever country you live in.
right. There's a question from an attendee. They want to know about English intensive program. Probably they're not from India, and I mean they want to know about this program a little more.
Okay. Do you have an idea, Emily, or are you okay to
Yeah,
answer that?
so in our we do offer an English language program, and we didn't really speak to this in our presentation because the majority of our students coming from India already have the English proficiency that they need. But in the springtime, we do offer an English intensive. So this is just a short semester, and the focus really is on reading and writing. And this is where students can, if they're trying to get into their program in September, but need to improve their English, this is kind of an intense semester where students can focus on those reading and writing skills. And then after that, in July, we offer it's a 1-month program, and the focus is mainly just on spoken English and communication. So we often see students, not so much from India, but from other countries, who attend that spring and that summer intensive together in order to prepare themselves for their September program.
Right. Thank you, Emily, for answering that. We have another question regarding admission requirement for Associate of Science. Would you like to answer that?
What's the question?
They want to know the admission requirement for Associate of Science program.
Okay, six bands IELTS overall with no band less than 5.5, but the SDS requirement in India is 6 band overall with no band less than 6. So normally the requirement is 6 band overall, no band less than 6 for SDS.
Right. There's a question where they're asking if tuition fees would be the same for online, is in case the September intake goes online completely. Will there be a difference in tuition fees?
No, there's not going to be a change in tuition fees, but I believe the college will not charge some other college fees, such as an athletics fee or an activity fee, because they know that students are not on campus. Sorry, Shivani, I wanted to also mention for Associate of Science that in addition to the IELTS requirement, you are required to have 67% in your science courses in the 12th. And we will allow an upgrader, but I believe it's a maximum of 2 upgraders or maybe 1. So if you achieve less than 67% in either chemistry or biology, if you're a medical student, or physics or chemistry non-medical, we will allow an upgrader, but you must have 67% minimum.
Right. All right. Thank you, Danny. The question will keep rolling in, but we have less time on our clock now. So before we sign off, would you like to say anything to our attendees, our participants?
Sure. So first, thank you all for participating, and we hope that you've been given a good impression of Selkirk. And if you have any queries after this, please do get in touch with Harpreet. Harpreet is in our India office, but she also handles inquiries from many, many other countries. And don't hesitate to ask a question, even if it's a simple question. We're happy to answer all questions. And we do have a little bit of time left for the September intake, but you would need to have your tuition payment ready in the next 10 days approximately. So, but we're really promoting our January and May and then September 2021 intakes. So we thank you for your participation.
Right. Emily, anything from you for our attendees or participants?
I'll just echo what Danny said. We really appreciate everyone taking the time to come and join us and listen to our programs, and that we really hope to welcome you to Selkirk one day.
Right. Thank you so much, guys, for wonderful presentation. I would also like to give my thanks to the attendees and the attendees today who had been there for an hour with us. And if they want to, have a recording of the presentation, they can get it on the YouTube page of MSM, right? Or you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, right? Thank you everyone for today's webinar. We hope to see you again next time, and stay safe, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.